Hello everyone, welcome back to LEGOthon and again for LEGO Harry Potter Region number 4. And my name is Loopy and I'll do today category fast any percent, which is basically any percent but without the cutscene. So do not hold off any moment, let's just start in 3, 2, 1, go. So as you'll notice, um, this level pretty simple. You just pretty much do everything that's normal. But as you can see, I'm using 1P2C. For everyone new here, 1P2C means that I'm controlling both characters at the same time. It takes practice. You can't just expect to be good at it. And just realized that I made a big mistake because I want to end the level with 0 studs, because this is the only level that gets affected by this. But at the end of the level there is like a status screen where if you don't have any studs it scrolls a lot faster, like 8 or maybe even 10 seconds faster, so it's very much worth to do it. But I just realized that I made a pretty big mistake and just picked up a lot of studs, so I'll try to get rid of them later. Here I'm just doing the level as normal, nothing really interesting here. Okay, here I'll take the deaths, and if I switch fast enough, I can get my character killed and switch straight away to the other character for the save time. So there we go, 0 studs. Not even that slow at all. And with how fast paced this is, we're just finished the first level. As you can see, instead of looking for how many studs I have and my true wizard status, you just go straight away to the gold bricks. And that's why we did it. So now here it is Wingardium Leviosa split, which is the first time we learn a spell. But first we need to get to the classroom, and there are surprising amount of obstacles for a first year, for a first year student in Hogwarts in order to learn their spells. So we need to get rid of that drawer. And here, as you can notice, I'm walking with Ron instead of Harry because he spawns to the left of the room, and the transition to the next room is also on the left. Okay, that's also a mistake there. What I should have done is cast Scabbers back to Ron in order, and then wait to the portrait, but no matter. Here we do a few quick switches, but it just doesn't work. Never mind. So here we finally made it to the classroom, and here we need to, you can see it in the cutscene, but since we skip it, we don't know what's happening. But what we need to do is rescue 3 students which Ron accidentally trapped, and we do that with our new spell. And here, basically, the first trick of the run, we try to overlap those cuts, and let's see. Yes, I got it. So now both students are being rescued at the same time, and that saves time, yeah. Now we're heading to the second level. As you can see, oh, as well as I'm building the colorful blocks, I'm also feeding the line there. That's full later. Currently, it's not really. We don't do anything with it. And also here, you can see there's a statue on the left, which I will build throughout the first 2 years. And here I'll knock off the first piece. And then enter the level. So now, first time we made a pet jump, what I did there, got a double jump as well as now I'll try to get what's called a run warp. Let's see. Okay. So now that I have some time, I can explain what happens basically. For a pet jump, you need to cast your pet for run its scabbers, cast it back, and then you can just, I usually just spam jump, other people time it, but there's a small amount of time there that you can double jump. And for the run warp, what happens is you need to cast your pet for run its scabbers as you fall off, and while the other player is casting Wingardium Leviosa at you. If you do those in the correct order, in the correct timing, then your player gets warped to, we think it's basically where the points, the coordinates 0, 0 are on the map, but that's pretty much the theory. It teleports you somewhere. Now here we just wait for the troll to finish its job. Here, if I use Wingardium Leviosa on the second piece that it throws at me, with both players, then it moves faster than if I would only use it with one player. Okay, now that we're done with the second level, we are being spawned here in the entrance to the Grand Hall, and we also need to try, to start fixing that knight there. That is also like the lion up there in the top right. We are fixing it throughout. We are building it for later, not for now. And here, Lumos, which is probably the most important or the most useful spell that we learn in the speedrun. We need to fix this. Yes, I would call it a disco ball. That's not what I meant to do. That was stupid of me. Okay. So now we know Lumos. And just like how we did a pet jump before now that we have Lumos, we can also do what's called Lumos jumps, which works exactly how pet jump works, but because you don't need to wait for the animation of the pets, and you don't need to wait for it to get cast back, and also pretty much every character you play as has Lumos. It's much more useful. So here we are learning how to gain strength with the strength potion, which basically means that you can pull those odd handles. And now for the first and I think also the final time, we will for a moment just not go how the game wants us to go. We will do a Lumos jump from this lamp here onto the torch here on the left, on the right, jump from the torch up and enter this classroom. And why do we do that? This classroom here, after we finish this lesson, we will have a transfiguration. And transfiguration lets us do some pretty cool things, which we will see soon enough. I will not spoil it yet. So now we just need to shoot those puppets. So right as I exit out of this classroom, just like how you do a run warp, I'll do what's called a pet warp, which is basically a run warp, but you don't need to fall with the character. And when you don't fall with a character, what happens is that the pet itself gets teleported. As you can see, Scabbard's here. And here also, I could demonstrate a Lumos jump, which looks like that. Here, I'm gonna set up, at least hope that I will get it, a strap known as plunger straps, which basically means, okay, I got it. I built that knight there, and he uses a plunger to fix something there. It doesn't really matter what happens, but the important thing is now there's a plunger there that we will use in year 2. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. So now there's a plunger there, and we will use it in year 2 instead of doing the intended route. Not really anything interesting happening now, we're just following the story as well as the next lesson. We learn how to fly a broom, which basically means that only Harry learns how to fly a broom. But I can, as you see, I need to shoot those gargoyles. But I also have Ron going there to the right to shoot a flower that will spawn there later. By later I mean here now. There we go. And now I'll just do a quick pet board, and we'll just go pretty much how the game expects us to until we enter the level. So here we need to first off brew the potion and also build this kind of interesting ball to continue onwards. No, that, oh, okay. I guess they're both strong now. And here, the ball opened the way for us. Yes, we're just going to Quidditch, because we just learned how to fly a broom. And in the level we will first see why did we learn Transfiguration? Because you don't actually need to learn it in the story, it's not anything in the story, it's kind of like a bonus level for if you want to go for 100%. So I transfigure here Hermione. Just stand here, waiting. So why? I mean, I can just jump up this wall and go all the way around here, skip all the puzzles. Now I just need to shoot here, the portrait. And there, I'm at the end of this room. I'm at the end of this room. This specific transfiguration jump doesn't really save all that much compared to the other strats, but it's still the fastest one. And here I went back to skip the animation. Just another Lumos jump here to end. Oh, come on, man. There we go. We can shoot that here in case I don't get this one in the first two tries, but there we go, got it first try. So we finished the third level. And now in year 1 there are no more lessons, there are only 3 more levels. Don't learn anything. But there is also a very important thing that we are about to do in right about the next room. So normally what you're meant to do is to fix this bridge here, but I'm gonna try to not do that, but still make it across like that. And I do that because fixing the bridge gets rid of the broomstick. And the broomstick, and when I fly the broomstick with Harry, I move a lot faster compared to just walking here. And also, for me at least, it makes for a pretty easy setup for a bunch of run works in the future of this run. Also here we see the biggest time save of the transfiguration in year 1. In this level, I like to do it like this to shoot the player there behind the table, although there is a faster way to do it. There we go, I jumped over the wall, and there we go, skipped the entire room, which is pretty difficult 1v2s, I would say. And here we can do just another one, but now we just don't want Filch to annoy us, so we shoot Mrs. Norris, which cares more about than himself. There we go. No. We basically skipped the entire level, except for the final room, which we do as intended. Is use Lumos on those vines. shoot the bats, and then just go towards the mirror. There we go. Now we're on to 1.5, the Forbidden Forest, which pretty much everyone agrees that it's the hardest level in year 1 and probably in the entire early game, which is the first 2 years. So here we will first see one of the wrong works that I can do because I didn't fix the bridge. So I stand here with Ron. As you can see, he was in the middle of his falling, so I wrong worked onto right next to Hagrid's hut, which is where the transition happens to be. So here, in this level, there are basically 4 Lumos jumps. This is the first one, which I'm struggling at. Okay, there we go. And what we want to happen here is for Fang to just jump up here. The other characters don't really matter, specifically Fang, because he's the only one that can dig. And he did. And from now on, I just do it as Hermione. Second Lumos jump here. Third and the hardest Lumos jump is this one. That was close. There we go. 4th try, not too bad. And there we go. Only one more level left, which is pretty much an auto-scroller. If you watch the movie or read the book, then you probably know what's going to happen next. Now the flying keys. For here we first do the barrel on it, the statue here, and then shoot the key in order for the 2 cutscenes to overlap. Because if we first shoot the key, then there's a camera pan which we can't, and we can't shoot or put the barrel onto the statue. And here to the chest room. It's basically the only room in this level with skips, which is if you shoot your pawns and queens and rooks while they're in the middle of their attack, then the animation will be skipped. And like here, I can just build the queen with, I mean, it's basically cheating, but I can build the queen straight away. And here, oh, there we go. No animation, just went straight away to the king. Now here's just the cruel Voldemort fight. Just wait for him to throw this green head at us, and then we just jump to him and touch him, and then hurts him. each time the floor breaks a little more. So here, yeah, and each time it throws more fireballs before it shoots the next green one. I think this time is 11, but I'm not sure. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 11. There we go. That's the end of year 1. Now we are heading on to year 2. Chamber of Secrets, a whole new story. Same character, but new story. So here again, this level is pretty much just like the one before it, just an auto-scroller. Here we need to not rescue, we need to find Ginny because she hides from us, because she's shy, I think. And there we go, there she is. We can wait for the portrait. We can go to the more interesting room in Nocturne Alley. So here we want to get out of this room, which we do by building this sword. As you can see, the guy in the portrait has a key, and we will use that key to get out of Borgin and Burks. At least this level is a lot shorter than the one before. Now here there are no spiders, so we just shoot it straight away. So you want to bother us. Pull the handle, and that's it. Here we start straight away with another pitchfork, because we don't want to use this potion here. Now, we just want to continue the story. So we now go to learn how to handle mandrakes. We do that by putting earmuffs. Need to just take 3 mandrakes that are for some reason just scattered around the room, put them in their pots, and that's it. So now remember that plunger that we set up in year 1. So we're about to finally pay it off. I first off want to shoot Ron to get rid of his wand, because the wand, for some reason, the developer decided to have collision. Okay, shoot Ron, please. There we go. So I want to do another wrong board here, like this. Jump onto the plunger. As you can see, there is a stray mandrake here, but I don't need to rescue it. I can just poof the student and enter, because it's my right to go learn some spells instead of helping you. Just do a nice Lumos jump up here. And here, I just waited a small amount of time before I skipped the cutscene, because for some reason, if you skip it too fast, they just start a party. Your character just celebrates a successful cutscene skip. Come on, should fix it. Okay. Now we're just heading onto this cutscene here, which is skip, of course. We're in the bridge, but now we won't do the warp because the warp puts us at Hagrid's garden, not at Hagrid's hut, and it's actually slow because we want to go to the Quidditch pitch. Now this level, it's also pretty hard. It's definitely a contender for 1-5 for the hardest level in the first 2 years. Starts with this Lumos jump here. There we go. Shoot Dobby. This very annoying Lumos jump, which thankfully I got first try. If you get it first try, then you can get all of those stuff before Dobby spawns, and then shoot him. Here another Lumos jump instead of building the stairs. Just follow Dobby. Jump up here, shooting from across. And now that we are done with here, we need to help Harry because his hand is broken. So here we're here in the hospital wing, trying to brew a potion for Harry. And here I'll attempt and hopefully succeed with skeleton skip, which basically, let's see, it seems like I got it. What basically happens there? Usually what you're meant to do is just put the head of the skeleton back in place, and then a long animation of around maybe even 30 seconds will play. But if you go through the transition at the right time, then it will not play, and that's what happened. So now we're heading. I need a plunger, forgot about that. This is the last time we'll need the plunger. In the next years, the students aren't here anymore. And also, now that we are back finally here in the entrance to the Great Hall, we can fix a bit more the statue. And enter here the lesson. This is the most useless spell in the entire game. This is the only time we ever use it spellgrounds. Just in the lesson. It has no other uses. It's in the game only because of its importance in the Harry Potter universe. Now we're onto the Malfoy fight, which before this track was found, which basically is... Okay, So let me just, okay. The strat was basically, the strat that I should have been doing is shoot as soon as Malfoy pulls his wand, because when he's in the middle of his pulling his wand animation, he can't jump aside. But I failed that pretty miserably, as you could have seen. And now we finish building the statue with Ron, and as I'll finish building this, I'll try to go through the transition. Great. So I skipped the small animation there. And now it's open for us for year 3. First time using Parselton here. We need to build a statue of a snake. Like that. And here I'll attempt to do the cutscene skip because it's faster even when you can skip cutscenes. Because if you don't get the cutscene skip, it spawns you below and not from up, where you get spawned if you do get it. It saves, in this version it only saves like 2 seconds. Okay, I'll attempt to do a pet work here, like that, to get to the classroom earlier. Here we're making Polyjuice potion, and I didn't get the brain perfect drink. You can, if you press the drink button, which is on Xbox controller, it would be B. If you press it on a specific frame when you're staying in the right place, then you could drink the potion in the middle of the animation of like getting the potions when you know how to use it, and that saves around 4 seconds. But it's frame perfect, so it's very much not expected to happen. Now here we are going to the bathrooms on the top right, and instead of going how they want us to, we'll just do some Lumos jumps up there. Another cutscene, and we enter the level. Here, you just need to make Polyjuice open. Oops. And now we do what's called a pet recall, which basically how it goes, it's I put Ron up there, Goat Fabrics down here, and recall him. And why does that work? What happens basically is the transition is right underneath where Ron is and right above where Scabbers is. And when the pet recalls, it goes in a straight line. right back towards the person. So what happens is the pet goes straight through the transition, and that's why that works. We only do only two other pet recalls in the run. Pretty sure only two. Now onto Moaning Myrtle boss fight. This is the only level where you don't actually need to complete the entire level. Just for some reason, you only need to complete this boss fight. But it's still a very bad split because there are three phases in this fight, and in the second and third phases, you can throw what's called metal pieces, just like that one. And it's purely RNG so far too. Ideally, you wouldn't get any silver pieces because you can't throw them back. But it's not really up to you, and this split is even worse in regular any percent because there is a frame perfect cutscene skip. One more phase. Four silvers so far. 5, 6, 7, 8 silvers. That's like a bit below average. There we go. Now that we completed, we can just exit to Hogwarts and continue on. It's pretty. I should probably mention that this only works on the original version of the game. If you try that on Grand Theft 7 Collection, it will just not work. Now we're again heading onto Hagrid's hut, so we will do the wrong block again in the bridge. Nice. I jumped. There's a plant on the left there that you can jump on with Fang. And with Harry you can just do a Lumos jump to get up here. And I'll try to do a drop-in warp here. To get Fang. Not yet, but soon enough. To get Fang all the way up there. You see where I'm trying to head up with the camera? I'll try to get Fang over there. And how I'll do it, this setup was found by Chimkin. You put Fang near the mushrooms there on the bottom right, sorry. Lumos jump there with Harry. We do that to actually skip a small, not actually, it's pretty long camera pan. Okay, let's shoot the boss. Move on to here. Start shooting the pixies. And about now, yes, there we go. Fang warped up here. So now I can dig. And continue on with the level. So here in this boss fight I can explain, maybe it was explained before me in runs before, but I can explain some what basically means to buffer an input. So first off, I didn't mean to rescue you, but okay. First off, you're not supposed. What you're supposed to do in this boss fight is to pick up a spider and then just throw it. Instead of not, you're not supposed to just push it down underneath Aragog, and it will hurt him. But if you do that, while basically the spider is struck with Wingardium Leviosa, then it still does the damage. So if you use Wingardium Leviosa straight away at the spider after you turn it over, you buffer the input of Wingardium Leviosa onto it. And so you only need to just push it under Aragog instead of pushing it under and then pressing for Wingardium Leviosa. Here in the basically I think it's the only actual auto scroller in the run. You just want to honk to not get spiders onto your car, as they will slow you down. And there we go, that's the end of the level. Heading on to the finale of year 2. Do this Lumos jump again to go to the same classroom. And here the level starts now. Instead of doing what you're supposed to do, you can just kind of jump up here and over here, and Scabbards will just enter here. Instead of going to the left and shooting the portrait and going through the entire tube. That's slow, and we don't like slow strats in speedruns. But this part at least is still very much boring. Just do as normal, except for that one skip. And right here, after I use the plunger on the toilet here, I'll do probably the most important pet work in the run, which is to get Scabbards up there in order for him to fall in the middle of the camera fan. Let's see it happen. Goes up, 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 up. The thing despawns, and there we go. Fall onto a transition. Now here it's just 2 Lumos jumps, one to get up there, one to get from there all the way to there. You can do that also with an edge jump, but I prefer to do it with the Lumos jumps. Maybe I should try with an edge jump. Okay, there we go. So now we're here in the basilisk, which we should not look in the eye, otherwise that will kill us. Basically what we're trying to do is to both damage the basilisk by making it hit the rocks, those kind of rocks that I'm aiming with Harry. And also, we are getting pieces for a strength potion, which we will brew right there, which we will use to pull a strength handle on the left. Here, if you can see, here it is, strength handle. Probably should have mentioned earlier, but if the other character is drinking a potion, you can shoot them with a spell to cancel the animation after the effect is already started, to skip the animation and basically go faster. Here I do the slower strat here, but it's a lot safer for me, which is basically you jump up here, jump once, and then just warps you up there. There's also a way, since you spawn on the left, there's also a way to do it from this. As you see, there are two silver rocks. I did from the one on the right, but there's also a way to do it from the one on the left. But the one on the left involves getting V-Sync off, which I don't really like to do. And the one on the left, on the right, is just very simple. Just jump once and it warps you up there for some reason. And there we go, we finished year 2. We killed the Basilisk, we freed Ginny from Tom Riddle. Now we're on to year 3. Which is definitely one of the harder years. But it may not seem that hard when you start with this boss fight. Not really a boss fight, it's just a fight. You just need to wait for the book to do its thing until we can move on. Very boring boss fight. Okay, there we go. We're finally doing the final hit, and then we are moving on to the cool parts of this level, which is basically, this is a very cool part, the train section. I tend to do it this way, but that's mostly because I want to do loom jumps on my player 1, which is on controller, instead of player 2, which is on keyboard. Also, I do a loom jump, or not go in a straight line, to skip a cutscene here that Malfoy likes to trigger. If you go just a bit too much in the correct direction. There we go, I did not trigger it, but that was kinda slow, but never mind. I cast Crucians here because he's actually moving faster, even though it only saves pretty much nothing. And here's the second patch recall. We stand here back with Hermione, move the Crookshanks here, and there we go. He went through the transition. And here we do transfiguration. We go under the lock there, and the transition is there, but with how weird your hitbox becomes when you use transfiguration on the other player, then you can just hit the transition there. The next and final room, we need to stay back with Lupin, because as you may know, he's afraid of the moon, and there is a moonlight, right? It's a bit bored to him, so we need to stay back and shoot the Dementors from behind. But that's it. We drop out there because for some reason the cutscene just doesn't trigger if not both players are there. Here we learn Ridiculous, which I think is one of the only times where the one player strat is faster than one P2C in any LEGO game, in any category. We do it like this, we switch very fast. There we go. Now we want to go to Divination, which is on the right. But there's a Bogart we need to use Ridiculous on before we can go there. Also very important to say, this is the first of two cutscenes that we need to wait before we can skip them. Otherwise we softlock. We need to wait for them to save. If you'll notice, there's the Harry head, which will appear right when this disappears. There's a Harry head. We need to wait until it disappears and then we can skip the cutscene. Otherwise we'll get stuck in this room. And that's because when the game saves you can't go through transitions. Plus, for some reason, if you skip it, it saves endlessly. It's not really clear why that happens, and that's also true for what we're going to now, which is again to Hagrid's. Now it's to the garden, but it's still. Oh, I didn't shoot the pumpkins before. Never mind. So we now go to Hagrid's garden to learn how to handle hippogriffs. I should have shot that pumpkins before, I forgot about that. So we'll just need to wait here in shame. So just like divination, we'll need to wait till after the cutscene saves before we can skip it. And here, this is usually regarded as the hardest one to see in the game, and I will not say I disagree. You need to get 3, I think those are turkey legs. You need to put them there, but you also need to put the correct ones in the correct places. Because if you put turkey leg in a place for another turkey leg, then it usually just despawns, and you need to go and grab turkey leg again. There we go. So we wait for, there we go. And now we again try to not fix the bridge. This is the last time we'll need to do it. So this is also the last time we'll walk this way on the bridge. There we go. Didn't fix it, so the broom will stay. Now we're heading onto a level, another lesson. We're heading onto Hogsmeade. But first, there is a small cutscene that we will skip. Now we have the twins. This level was a lot harder before transfiguration strats were implemented in runs, because there was the infamous Malfoy skip in the 4th room, but now it's really easy because you can just use transfiguration jumping. So here in the 1st room we just use a lot of loom jumps. Right here at the end. There we go. Now here, I know T-Fresh, I think posted even today, maybe it was yesterday, a new setup for the transfiguration skip here, but I've still yet to learn it, so I will not go for it, but I'll go for my setup. What basically we skip here is there a snowman under the snowman, like that, we could have seen it, and if you go near it, it triggers pretty long cutscene. And here is where we skip the Malfoy skip. With a much easier transfiguration jump. Technically Malfoy skip is still faster if you get it first try or even second, but it's really not worth the risk. Here we just put the brooms, enter Honeydukes, and we're done with the level. Here I'll need to set up very quickly for pet warp. Not saves a whole lot, but still nice to get. Like that. And then we will enter the next level, which is one of my favorites. I like it. We start here in this room, which for some reason, which is not very clear to me, there's no split screen in it, so you always need to have both players very close to each other. I I don't see why they made it so there's no split screen here. Now here there is a skip for this room, but it's really hard. No one goes for it. I only ever gotten it once, not in a run, in practice. It's definitely pretty sure it's the hardest strat that we know to exist in this game. There is a reason no one goes for it. There we go. Now I'll drop out player 1, but that's again for the same reason I did in the first level of this year, and that's to loom jump with player 1. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to get Filch like that, to get Harry in about there, jump up there, shoot Mrs. Norris, and then run straight at the wall. Because I got it, you could see some sparkles around those statues that I just pulled. And if there are if there are sprinkles and stuff, then you know that you made Filch despawn. And if Filch despawns, then you can just pull the statues and continue on with the level normally. If you don't get it, then Filch will come right to you and fetch one of you, and you need to try it again or just do the room normally. Now we're going on to Expecto Patronum, which is also a famous spell but actually has use in this game, unlike Expelliarmus. For some reason, player 2 always just gets sent a lot further there. Always there, always there. Really weird. So here there are 5 chests, and each one of them hides a bogart that Harry needs to use Expecto Patronum on. And here in the last 2 chests, you can have them open both at the same time and shoot them at the same time. And now we're heading onto probably the current most infamous level in the run, 3-4, the Shrieking Shack, known for its infamous Angry Tree Skip. Angry Tree Skip is I'm pretty sure, the third and last time we use a pet recall. We first off need to get to the level, and we do that again by doing another round warp from the grid. Spawn too low. That means that I've been falling for too much time. That should work. Yes. There we go. As you can see, there is the angry tree here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfigure player 2, in this case is Hermione. I like to align between the flowers there. Then we just spam jump until we can't anymore. That didn't get out of bounds. Our goal is to get out of bounds. There's a small amount of collision there that you can stand on. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. Now we got out of bounds. I like to align with the right, just about the edge of the white parts there. We fall, head back in, cast crucians, spam jump. Ooh, that didn't make it. What we want is to get crucians all the way up and then do a pet recall. The thing is the place that Hermione can stand on while out of bounds down there is super precise, which is why it is known for its... Oh, that was so close. Which is why this skip is very much known, just like how Malfoy's skip was known. Okay. We'll get it soon enough, I hope. So we'll see how that looks. Seems like not so far. There we go. Now the crucians made it up here. We just do a pet warp. No, just a pet recall, and we're back here. Here we try to do an edge jump optimally with both players. There we go. We got to click with one player. Let's try with player 2 as well. Oh, okay, only one player. Ideally, you would want to do that with two, with both players. And that skips the things you need to do down there. And if you get both players, you can do a transfiguration strat right at the end there to skip doing two of those stones to get rid of two of the vines. You only need to get rid of one vine instead of all three. The last vine to get rid of is right here. There we go. This is pretty much an auto scholar too, you just need to shoot. You can just spam here Reducto and it will hit everywhere scabbards go to. Just build this mouse trap here, even though scabbards is a rat. And now we hand here. Usually, most players like to go with here with Hermione jump up there, where there is a big patch. But you can also do a Lumos jump like that. But that's a lot harder. I've practiced that a lot to get good at it. There are a lot of players that don't go for it and go for the easier and still really fast strat there. But that's the end of that level. Now we're heading on to the next one, which is also pretty boring. Except for the second room when there's some transfiguration strats. what we want to do here, we basically went back in time in the cutscene. We want to free Buckbeak to save his life because he was sentenced to death. So there we go, we freed him, so he gets to live. Now here we'll do transfiguration stuff. We'll jump up here. Build a gramophone. Now we just need to get a record to get from this chest. Now here, just jump up here, get the ball rolling, then we just kill 6 Dementors and that's the end of this level. If you're good, you can snipe them instead of waiting for until you can aim them at them. You can just shoot and it will hit them like I did there. So let's start. Final level when you're equipped. Whoa, that was a slide, Hermione. So what we do here is we get rid of the ice. And here there's a very nice strat. You can just stand up here with a fairy and jump like that. And here is actually pretty. If you play this game on a pretty old computer, you probably know this part. If you shoot one of those statues, your game will just crash all the time, and that happens because for some reason, if you don't have enhanced graphics on and texture quality as high, the game just crashes there. It's really weird, but that happens. I'm pretty sure that only happens on the PC version, but that happens. So here another 1-2C. Meant to shoot that Dementor. We need to brew another strength potion. Let's see how far can I get the jump. Not very far. If you jump at the right time and with enough speed, then you can land around here instead of where I landed. A bit faster, but not really that much of a difference. Now just the final boss fight. Need to get rid of the Dementors here. Then this Dementor sucks everything from inside the barrels. That makes them, I guess, makes them busy. We can shoot some. Right. We can shoot Expecto Patronum at it. Now that it freezes the barrels, we can just hit the statues for it to not freeze. There we go, just one more time. And there we go. We finished year 3. Now on to the last year in this game, year 4, Goblet of Fire. Which starts with, in my opinion, one of the best levels in the game. We first need to free the Weasley family, because there are Death Eaters running around here. And if your name didn't tell you already, Death Eaters are not very nice people. So we need to free also Harry, but Harry isn't actually in this section, and we will not actually free him, because in the next section we will go out of bounds with here we'll do a wrong word. There we go. Now we're out of bounds. We will go all the way around till the very end, but instead of actually just skipping this room, we will skip the entire level. There is an out of bounds trigger in this room that just skips it. So let's see if I can get it. Hit it. Okay, no, I was a bit too far left. A bit too far right this time. There we go. So here, I hit the trigger, and that's it, we're done with the level. So now we're just gonna continue, like nothing ever happened, and Harry is somehow rescued from the Death Eaters. And here we are on to the most boring lesson. We need to wait so much. Agent potion, which I don't think we use in story. We definitely use it in 100%, but I don't think we use it after this once in story. So we just do pretty much as the developers intended you to do it this room. I mean, I don't think they intended for you to do the tasks of both players, but like in co-op, I would assume that they probably thought of this route. Almost done here, we just need to make the orange color and we get the snake. Now we're going to the Grand Hall to learn who are the champions in the Triwizard Tournament. But we will not actually see that because we will skip the cutscene. What will happen is we'll just go there, skip the cutscene and head right back. Just like that. We're now going to Hagrid's hut for the final time, although we will do the bridge warp once more. But this is the final time we'll go to Hagrid's hut, and we'll go to also pretty infamous level, dragons. Okay, I can stand. This could work? No. That never happened to me before. Okay. Too low. There we go. Finally. Now dragons. We first start by just jumping on this purple egg here and do a Lumos jump. Just there we go. Skipped a lot. That what we just did probably saves around 2 minutes. And here we will attempt the blue skip, which is called blue skip because we skip a blue dragon. And we got it too. So we're just jumping. The level is infamous specifically because those two skips. The first one is called red skip because it skips the red dragon, although it skips more things. And the second one is blue skip, which skips the blue dragon. And here in this room we just do it as normal. No skips known here. Ow. And somehow died there. Just need to shoot that. Go to the right there with Harry, and we're done with this level. Heading on to our last lesson, Reducto. In the Reducto lesson, for some reasons, sometimes it just doesn't work. What you need to do is rescue 5 students because they're stuck under those Reducto objects. But sometimes you shoot the object and it just doesn't react. Luckily nothing happened like this. This time everything worked perfectly. No, only 4 levels left. And we will do the bridge warp for the final time, going into the 3rd level in the 4th year. Come on. No. There we go. So now it's not to Hagrid's hut, but here, to this tank. So I'll now attempt what's called loopy skip, which is named after me because I was the original. I found it first, although like a month after I found it, Senior found it independently. Which basically you jump here in the corner, and you can just, sometimes it works, you can just jump high enough to skip this wall. Usually is this bad. Come on. Come on. There we go. Like that. I'm really bad at that specific loose jump. Oh, there we go. Now, just loose jumps. And instead of here doing what you're supposed to do, you can just jump from this flag onto a small bit of collision up there and onto where the egg is. Okay, no, I forgot about this spot as well when I was talking about 2-5. So here, you want to always be the player at front, but you also want the player from behind to die, because they can spawn ahead, just like that. That was a good spawn, unlike that one by Hermione. It's RNG, first off, if the other player will die. Second off, where will they spawn? If they spawn well ahead of you, that's good. Like that, that's good. But most of the time, they don't even die. There we go. 3 more levels. But this one, again, before we can enter it, we need to watch a cutscene. But since we don't watch cutscenes, we will just walk to where it is, skip it, and go back. And the cutscene takes place here. There we go, we skip it, and we go back. Again, we jump up here through the trophies, just like we did in year 2. But now, instead of going to the bathrooms on the right, go to the bathrooms up here on the left. What we want to do here, because Myrtle moves really slowly when carrying the shells, we want to minimize her moving with it. And now Myrtle will fall through the transition. This next room is also really easy. Just pull in this portrait. Okay, I missed that part. There we go. Shoot the scorpions. Then the mermaid will throw pieces of a train. And the train makes a cloud. The cloud rains for the mermaid, so she's happy now. Heading on to the Black Lake, which, as you probably could have guessed, takes place in the dark. In the Black Lake. First time we'll ever go here, and the only time we'll ever go here. Okay, don't shoot the student, he will shoot back. He missed, that's good. Now here we can do an edge jump, to skip a bit of movement. Not like that. Usually you jump. Oh, no, come on. Let's get the jump. There we go, like that. In this level, it sucks, it's bad, but at least there are 2 out of bounds. Didn't mean to go all the way up there. So we go down here with both players. Turn around with player 1. And player 2. Actually, whoever you choose. Shoot repeatedly with... Most people use Reducto, although you can use other spells too. And I like to drop out here to have a better camera. Now we're out of bounds. Oh. And we will stay here out of bounds until we hit the transition. Although I will try to call back in player 1 a bit before that. Like right now. There we go. We will do another out of bounds right here. Turn around, but this time you also need to hold down with the player going out of bounds like that. And just hold right. There we go. Now the last part, which has very annoying mermaids. The mermaids, they have really bad, what's it called? Forgot the name. Iframes, invincibility frames. Really bad invincibility frames. Also, they can just kind of warp you like that. But that was not too bad, all things considered. Just one more level. It was all the way up. We need to go to Dumbledore's office. We do that by climbing lots and lots of stairs. There usually is some trouble shooting that pixie there for some reason. And after you shoot the portrait, you can just jump back right there to the stairs. Be very, very close to the door. These first 3 rooms, we just need to memorize the pattern of the knight. It's very easy. Left, right, bottom, and then one last time, which would be right, left, bottom, top. Right, left, bottom, top. And now we just finish this room as normal. Although we can do, okay, maybe we can't. You can do a lumos jump around after the first one to save a bit of movement. If you don't fail it though. And in the last room, there's supposed to be an interesting puzzle, which I don't remember anything about it. But you can just stand on the leg of the Sphinx and lumos jump through it. Now we're heading on to the boss fight, where we will finish this run. What you want to do is basically just spam attack. That's all you do here. Get rid of the Death Eaters, shoot Voldemort, and time star ends on when I hit Voldemort for the last time. So 3, 2, 1, now. So that's it. Hope you all enjoyed. This was LEGO Harry Potter 1 to 4. Really interesting run. Lots of cool tricks, lots of interesting strats, and also a lot more casual play than you would expect. Hope you enjoyed. I'm pretty sure the next run we have is LEGO The Hobbit. No major skips by the hamster. Should definitely stick out for that. And yeah, that's all I have to say.